where it basically just goes through the whole gambit of all of his crimes.
Okay.
And it is wild. Like, he has killed dozens of women. Like, dozens. They're all like teenage, like college age, and then just like a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. This guy. So he basically like uses like his charm and his good looks, and I say that very lightly because I think he's ugly as hell.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know. He must just be very charming. I mean, he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. But like, and he like manipulative, and that was how he was able to like do it.
So I watched the movie.
With the Zac Efron.
Yeah. First of all, how do you feel about Zac Efron playing him?
You know what? So I started watching it. I didn't finish all of it. I think he. At first, I was very skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is Troy from High School Musical. Like,
have you seen that meme? T as in Troy?
No, T as in Ted Bundy. I think I shared that.
That's probably where I got it from.
I thought that was so funny. So I was very skeptical, but after watching him and seeing like the way he was like carrying like his face, and I think he like really did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I watched like the docuseries first, and then I watched part of the movie, and I remember being like, oh god, like he really looks like him.
Okay, so now the docuseries, is that a movie or is that like an episode?
Like episodes. Yeah,
okay.
Like a show. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was I going to ask? Spoiler alert. How did he die? Was he actually electrocuted or electric chaired?
I think so. It was, yeah, they killed him in prison. I don't remember if it was electric chair or if they gave him like the lethal injection.
I know.
I think it was electric chair.
I was watching the movie, but I was either distracted on my phone or dozing off. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really keeping up with it as much as I probably should have. So, I mean, like...
I thought the movie was like kind of slow. It wasn't as exciting as I think I wanted. I guess I really wanted to see him like go to town on someone. Yeah. Like, he just like didn't really do that. Just messed up for me to like be like rooting for him. Like, yeah, I did him. But,
so
like, I don't know.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, the movie only covered him murdering one girl.
Yeah.
That was right. And now, he also. I'm not okay. Let me start off with this. Mm-hmm. I'm not big in. I know I listen to My Favorite Murder. Mm-hmm. They're all about true crime. That's basically all their podcast is about. But I don't keep up with like the Golden State Killer, Ted Bundy, or like I don't keep up with it, so I don't know exactly.
I love serial killers. I just love. I mean,
do you watch Law and Order?
Hell yeah, I watch Law and Order.
Do you watch CSI?
I don't really watch CSI.
What all true crime shows do you watch?
Forensic Files. Boy, that. I get my best ideas from Forensic Files. I'll be like sitting there. There's a meme about this too. Where you're like sitting there like eating chips in bed, and they're like, the murderer left a bloody fingerprint, and I'm just like, what an idiot! Like, what are you doing, leaving your fingerprints?
So, what am I trying to get with Ted Bundy? I was trying to lead up to a question with me not keeping up with these serial killers, but
do you have a favorite serial killer? Or I guess if you don't really follow them.
No. But when I went to the My Favorite Murder show in Columbus last year, they were talking about, I forget what town. It wasn't too far from Columbus, but they had like a pumpkin show each year. Do you remember me telling you about it?
Oh. Yes. It's the pumpkin chunkin'. Where they throw the pumpkins. No, that's not Ohio. That's Delaware. I know. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
But
yes.
There was a story that she was saying, like, where this guy would send this wife, I believe, letters in the mail saying, like, he was basically blackmailing her, I think. Mm-hmm. She was a bus driver, and, like, it's still unsolved, the mystery and all that. They haven't caught the person or whatever. But she was driving bus one day, and she saw these signs that were directed towards her. And after seeing so many of these signs, she pulled over, and got out, and she saw, like, she started, like, pulling the string that like was attached to it, one of the signs or whatever, and it was like there was a gun hidden somewhere.
And it shot her?
No.
Oh. She pulled the string that pulled the trigger.
Very proactive of you, Erin.
I was on it. I was like, and she's dead?
This is why
Where
I
did
love
it
you.
sound like you were going with that? She pulled on a string and died.
With a whole bunch of kids on the school bus. My favorite murder. Karen and Georgia, please listen to this episode. We want to be featured on your episode or one of your show.
I'd be a bad killer. Bitch pulls on a string and gets shot. It's the perfect crime. The perfect crime.
Okay, so anyway, I guess there was a fault in the string to where I guess the gun should have went off, but it didn't.
I was right. Are you serious?
I can't remember what.
I was right.
I have to look this up because I oh my gosh. But yeah, there was it was just yeah. I can't even explain it.
That's so funny.
When was this? It was back in February of last year.
So, like, I think, like, Ted Bundy's, like, super, like, fascinating, you know, but, like, I really think, like, of all the serial killers, like, he's, like, the biggest piece of shit, because, like, not only was he, like, a murderer, but he was also, like, sexist and, just, like, extremely narcissistic, and I think he only targeted women, so he probably felt like he was, like, better than women, and, you know, that whole thing plays into it. So, like, while I think he's super fascinating, I think he's a huge asshole, and I'm glad he's dead.
Right.
And I think, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I were to be like, Ted, you're the worst serial killer, he'd, like, try and kill me.
Yeah, I can't find this. Our beginning episodes, I believe, which was when it was talked about, were very not as descriptive as the episodes that are now being released.
Yeah.
But I was kind of intrigued by that story just because, like, this girl was cheating on her husband, and she was being blackmailed, and then the fact that she almost got shot. I don't know. And they still haven't caught him. Like, I feel like
really?
Yeah, the cold cases or the unsolved mysteries, I feel like are my favorite types. Especially, like, the gruesome ones.
I like when they get caught.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of them getting caught, but it's just, like, the cliffhanger, I think, is what gets me. It's scary to think
that they're still out there.
Yeah.
You know, like the Zodiac Killer.
I've heard of that one, but I don't know much about it.
Well, he never got caught. Or at least... probably not. Like, they've arrested people and, like, thrown people in jail who they, like, thought might be him.
But why do they call him the Zodiac Killer?
See, hold on. Let me look that up, because I get him and the Golden State Killer mixed up.
Okay. So now, see...
Zodiac Killer.
When, like, shortly before the Golden State Killer was caught, there was a lot of talk about it on My Favorite Murder, I believe, and, like, just plain general, there was just a lot of talk of the Golden State Killer, and then when he actually did get caught due to some DNA testing, like, just weeks after they were talking about it, was just that was kind of exciting. Like, people were thinking that they had something to do with it, but no, it was just some, like, DNA testing that they did. And this guy, the Golden State Killer, like, I guess the police were, like, sitting outside of his house or whatever, and he, like, kept spitting in his driveway or something, and then I think that's what it was. Okay.
So the Zodiac murdered victims in different locations in San Francisco in the 60s, and the killer originated the name Zodiac so he named himself that. Oh, okay. So that's weird.
Now, did he target like a specific zodiac sign?
Mm-mm. No. Okay, so he used cryptograms, which is basically just like a code, to like send like letters to like newspapers and basically just to like taunt them.
Oh, you're bringing this back to me now.
Yeah, okay. And so yeah, I think it's just he named himself that.
That's weird.
Which, yeah, it doesn't really say why. But I guess he never specified why.
I wanted to talk about something. Ted Bundy, Zodiac, Golden State Killer, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, this guy, Arthur Lee Allen. He was arrested, I thought, or no. They thought he was the Zodiac Killer. But he died in the 90s. But they arrested somebody, like, really recently that, who they thought was the Golden State Killer who, like, strangled a bunch of people. Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy. Do you remember hearing about that?
That's the Golden State Killer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just so creepy.
You're right.
I mean, oh, God. Yeah, he was like active in like the 70s and 80s.
Oh my gosh, this is just being brought back to me. Like days before he got caught, he called the phone company and he wanted his phone disconnected or whatever, just because he felt like he was being tracked down.
Ooh.
Or something, or like he felt like he was being followed, or I don't know.
I mean, like at this point, I don't know, like he's like an old man.
All right,
you know.
It's like, okay, in Desperate Housewives, like in the 8th and final season. So we all know that it was... I've only watched that season once, so correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I should know this stuff. I think Bree had killed Gabby's stepfather, who had done terrible things to her as a child.
Oh.
But at the end of the season, spoiler alert... At the end of the season, Karen McCluskey owned up to it because at her age and with her health condition, they wouldn't jail her because she's going to be kicking the bucket anytime soon anyway, which she did.
I get that, you know, like, it's like, at what point do we care?
And how many, like, has the Golden State Killer, recently murdered anyone that we know of?
Not that we know of.
So, like, I mean...
I don't know. I'm just kind of like... But, like, also, like, old people, they don't have much time left to live anyway. I don't want to be paying for their shit in jail. Just let them just die out in the street. Who cares? Well, I mean, I care if old people die in the street, but not if they're, like, potential serial killers.
If you're a terrible person,
just arrest them, snatch them up, and just fucking take them out.
Take them out back.
Yeah.
What's it... What do they shoot him in the back of the head? What's that called?
That's like an execution style.
There we go.
Just they're done.
Oh, so gosh, we're about at me.
Do it. I don't care. Let's go.
What else about Ted Bundy? Anything else you have to say about him?
I don't like him. I think he's super interesting.
He's not like a kindergartner.
He's not my favorite serial killer. I think my favorite is still good old Jeff Dahmer.
What's he about?
He killed a bunch of men and ate them. Like, kept their, like, bodies, like, in his fridge and freezer.
Killed a bunch of men?
Yeah, he was gay. He'd, like, lure men to his home.
What?
Then he would, like, dissolve their bodies in, like tubs of acid.
Oh, my God.
I just think that's so cool.
Erin, you're twisted.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
but, like, at the same time, it's like, is that it, like... It's, like, almost kind of like a double whammy. Because, like, yeah, he's, like, a murderer and a cannibal. But, like, also, are those considered, like, hate crimes? You know?
What are the men that